it's Keith and Chris in the paint booth. We're gonna get some epoxy primer and some paint for our imitation primer look for the primer overspray. Do some seam sealer, some undercoating, and then either Thursday or Friday, we're gonna actually spray some color on it. All right, so let's talk about our process a little bit on the primer overspray. Now, not every car gets the same treatment. On this one, the customer decided they want to do a primer overspray like the factory. Now, factory cars were dipped, so we're going to try to replicate the color of the dip primer. And throughout the years, all the cars that I've taken apart, it always seems to have a little bit of a green tint, and it's definitely darker than this color right here. So this is DP50, it's PPG's epoxy primer. And although you could get away with it and just call it the Mopar primer color, it's still primer. So what we've developed is a color, an actual paint or acrylic enamel, which is going to be paint on top of the primer, and then we can do our primer overspray on top of that. So we're going to show you what that color looks like, and we're only going to spray the bottom. Now, when the Chryslers dipped these cars, they probably only dipped them up to maybe halfway up the car, and that was to ensure that the rocker panels were completely submerged in paint and partway up the quarter panel. Now, the car is on its side right now, so it can't quite reach all the way up, but it would totally encase the inside of the trunk and the floor on the top and the bottom. So today, I'm only going to spray the bottom of the car so we can get away with that primer overspray look. Now, if you really wanted to get crazy with a concourse restoration, I would wait a day for this to completely flash off, and I would actually choose an area right in this area right here and mask it and hardline it. And you could do that for the inside of the car and mask it, you know, part way up the door panel here. And then we've taken apart cars before. Let me change the camera view here. We've actually taken apart cars before where the dip line is right in here, and then everything above it is bare metal. Now this car, it's going to try to pull off the factory look, but we're not doing a ultra concourse look. So the inside of the car is going to be all body color, and at that point there's no sense in doing that dip line look because you'll never see it. So the inside of the car is going to be complete body color, engine bay all body color, and then the trunk. Now when the factory painted these, they would just reach in and spray what they could reach, and a lot of times this would still be bare metal. The factory guys, they didn't care. They would just reach in here as far as they could reach, shoot some color on it, and typically you would just see color on the wheel wells and the trunk floor itself. But when we got it here on the rotisserie, we're gonna make sure we got color all the way inside this so there's never any flash rust. And you know, basically these cars are over restored. It's gonna have way more paint on it than the factory ever dreamed of. right, let's take a look and see how we did. You have to resist the urge to paint more. I can hit a little there. So the car's on the dollies. Not much going on with the car body right now, but the fenders. We're gonna do the insides of the fenders and the underside of the trunk lid. They're ready for paint. All right, so body work is done on the doors. Got both doors in here. Had to do a little body work on the bottom. Someone's foot always puts a dent in the bottom of these, so I had to do a little body work on the bottom. The inside of the hood is done. Well, that's quite the width you got on your wrist. That's some good wrist action there. Gold has a lot of metallics in it, so you can see how the silvers will drop out onto the bottom. So this is all pre-mixed, ready to go, but we have to constantly keep it shaking. You can see after you shake it for a little bit, it gets all gold again. So lots of metallics in this. the stuff. That's the stuff that he puts in there.
It tickles the bunghole.
Special stuff. Alright, so that's 2 good coats of the Del Fleet single stage urethane. So that concludes the quote unquote jamming out process of this 68 Charger. So I appreciate everybody watching. Just remember to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And the part 2 of this video will be the painting of the exterior.